Hi, this is Dawn Alicia, another episode of Gemini Who Rocks. I am a Gemini who rocks. Today I'm wearing my Ohio sweatshirt because I love most things Ohio. Cleveland Browns, Cleveland Guardians slash Indians, whatever you want to call them. The Ohio State, of course, and also the Bearcats because I was a Bearcat for 3 years. It's funny when we went to watch Lord of the Rings, I realized I didn't have anything merch related shirt wise. So I went online. I couldn't really find a shirt I liked, but I did find some Lord of the Rings socks. How cute are these? I can't wait to wear them. I love little anklet socks. I do want to say that I never got into basketball, and that is a funny thing. So back in the day, years and years ago, my mom, we were at my grandfather's house, and there was basketball on, and my mom was like, "Who's that?" And my uncle said, "Michael Jordan." And then a few months later, my mom said, "Well, who's that?" And my uncle said, "Look, there were only two Michaels in the world, Jordan and Jackson." So I find that very funny. I do want to say my favorite colors are purple, aubergine, green, hunter green. I do want to say I am still a tortured Cleveland Browns fan. Thanks, Dominique, for my cup. Also, I'm going to move this over. You can see I have Wacko Warner. And although you can't really see, but that's Cosmo from Fairly Odd Parents. Today I want to talk about reading. When I was younger, I used to hate to read. Um, the library every year will make you, in Cleveland, if you read 10 library books, they would give you tickets to see the Indians play. They were the Indians back then. And I remember I saw a comedian once say, when the police pulled you over, they wouldn't give you a speeding ticket, they give you Indian tickets, which I still think is funny. And so I would cry, literally cry tears, having to read 10 books. And then one year, I picked up the book Princess Annie by Linda Lyle Miller, and I just fell in love with reading it. And after that, I've been hooked ever since. I got to meet her when I moved to Vegas. Been here for a while, so a while ago, and it was kind of disappointing because I asked her about this one series and she was like, "No, I'm not going to finish it," even though it left it on a cliffhanger. And then I asked her about another series, about the vampire series. Whether she finished the vampire series, she left it open for the warlock. And I'm like, "Please." And she was like, "No." So that was disappointing. So even though that was the case, even though I stopped reading her books, I still had a love for books no matter what. So my all-time favorite author is a lady named Lisa Kleypas. I don't know. I hope she's okay. She's been out of commission for a while. She used to come out with a book every year. Then she kind of like disappeared. So I hope you're okay. Please, please come back. You left me hanging with the series. You left all your fans hanging with the series. I checked on social media, could not find you anywhere. I want to say one of my favorite books of all time is this book here called Lily and the Hawk by Marlene Susan. Unfortunately, she died back in the 90s, so the book is not on Amazon Kindle. I did email people and no one really got back to me, which kind of sucks because I'm concerned. As you can see, it's a little frayed, and so I don't want it to fall apart because this will be a hard book to find and replace. But it's such a good book. I loved it. It's a strong, independent woman. She has red hair. As you can see, I love being a redhead. I'm already thinking about my next hair color. I think I'm going to go back to burgundy. I think it suits me best. I also want to show you my Kindle. I've been fiddling around with it, and I noticed once I change the brightness, you can see the books that I have on here. So I'm going to start at the top and show you some books that I have on here. Kathleen Coulter. I loved her FBI series in the beginning. The Code, The Target, The Maze. So good. I feel like I'm missing one. No, The Target. Such a good series. For some reason, I stopped reading it, not because it wasn't bad, but my attention span sometimes goes off. And so I tell people that I have addictive personality, but not for drugs and alcohol or smoking. I get addicted to books and music and movies, cartoons, or books. If I find an author I really love, I will try to read every single one of her books. So I'm going to show you my Kindle. So it looks like it's showing The Target first. Then Lisa Kleypas has a Wallflower series, which I think is better than Julia Quinn's series, but it's still just as good. But I just love this series just a little bit more. This one book here in the series is my favorite, Devil in Winter. It's really good. And the daughter is based off is the lady in the book is based off a daughter in another series of books she had, Dreaming of You. Another good book. Let's see. There you go. Let's go again. And then, as you can see, my love of Lisa Kleypas, and this is the Dream of You book of hers about Derek, who ran a gambling club, and this lady, either she wanted to be an author or reporter, but very awesome. Let's see what else we got. My Outlaw. So, like I said, Linda Lo Miller, even though I don't read her books, I love her older books. And this is one of the books I love. I really love time travel stories. So, My Outlaw is a fun time travel book to read if you're interested in time travel. And Mine Till Midnight is the second part series of the Wallflower series with Lisa Kleypas. The first book in the series is Mine Till Midnight. The whole series is fun. I recommend check it out. Ooh. My next book, True Heart. So Arnett Lamb is another author. I don't know why it's doing that to me, but Arnett Lamb is another author who I really enjoy. This is a part of the series, but I really like this part in the series. It really spoke to me. I have a friend named Marlene, and you'll ask her a question. She'll say, it doesn't speak to me, which I find really hilarious. And this is about a young girl who was kidnapped, and she tried to tell people who she was, and no one believed her. And the guy who she was supposed to try to run away with didn't realize, and then he felt guilty that he lied about where he was going. And then he found a symbol that she had showed him before she went missing. It is about his journey to finding her and getting her back to her family. Open Season is a really good book by Linda Howard. I used to read a lot of Linda Howard, but I pulled back a little because she went a little bit too dark for me and less on the romance and more on the action, which is nothing wrong with that. But for me, I like to read romance novels. Historical or modern are my thing. I recently got into spicy. There's this author I discovered called Stacey Reed. She has this one book called Letters for Emily about this young woman and twin brothers, and I'll just leave it at that. So Rose in Winter, Kathleen Woodiwiss. I think her most famous book would be Shauna, but Rose in Winter is my favorite book by her. Time Without End is a vampire series by Linda Lo Miller that I love. I'm totally still crushing on the lead guy variant. Shadows of Twilight, Linda Howard, another fun book. Prince of Dreams is a book. It takes place in Russia. Time travel again. You see the pattern. He was a jerk, but I still love him. I do want to apologize for my doggy. I discovered some new authors that I've been reading and enjoying. I'll let you know a little bit more about them later. I also discovered this one lady. Her name is Valerie Bowman, Bowman, I believe. I was watching Say Yes to the Dress Atlanta, and she was there looking for a wedding dress, and they mentioned she was an author. And as me, a love of historicals, I read all her books. Amazing. I'm due for some more books of hers. I need to see if they're at the library. A new lady that I've been drawn to is this lady right here, Catherine, last name Avers. Her books I really enjoy, and I think you would too. More Lisa Kleypas. As you can see, I love Lisa Kleypas. Mary Jo Putney. Years ago, Las Vegas had a romance convention, and she was there, and she was so sweet. And I'm really glad that I got a chance to meet her and tell her how much I love her books. Joanna Lindsay, we lost too soon, and she was another author that I really enjoy. And so you can see that I have some of her books. Jane Ann Krentz. She wrote under 3 authors, Jane Castle, Jane Ann Krentz, Amanda Quick. I usually read her, Amanda Quick, and Jane Ann Krentz, which is her modern and her historical. And let's see, who else do I have here? There's this really fun series by Jill Barnett. The first one is called Bewitching, about this young lady who was a witch, and her aunt was this powerful witch who had to go to a conference. And so and the little young lady was not very good with her powers. And she ended up stuck with this guy. And every time she tried to do a spell, chaos happens. It's so funny. More Lisa Kleypas. See, Julia Quinn. I like to say that I was reading Julia Quinn before Julia Quinn was a thing, but I love that she's out there now. Dream Man, another fun Linda Howard book. I want to say that I used to be a big Jude Devereaux fan, but recently, not recently, years ago, because I would say 3 apartments ago, I was reading one of her books and the devil showed up in it and I closed the book. I'm like, no, I'm not reading that. But I do love some of her other books. Um, Remembrance, Time Travel, um, Knight in Shining Armor, Time Travel. So I just want to let you show some of the things that I do to occupy my time. If you have any questions, let me know. If you know if Lisa Clapp is okay, for sure let me know. So thank you for joining me for another episode of Gemini Who Rocks. And I'm very proud of my doggie for not barking through this. Have a great day. Bye.